I'm sure you're aware by now, but 3D Mario is coming in 2027. There's so many leakers that in fact said it, and the big one, Nate the Hate. Originally, this game was actually supposed to be coming in 2026, but got delayed due to some reason. So now we're seeing it in 2027. We actually know the release date or the potential release date for this game, and also so much more. So let's get straight into the video. Okay, so starting everything off, if we really were to take a look at this, it honestly makes sense. So 2027 is going to be a huge year. Like, it really is going to be a massive year for video games as a whole. But sticking more to the subject of 3D Mario, it seems like we are going to be getting Pokemon Winds and Waves in September, and we're getting 3D Mario in November. Now, honestly, this is really cool in a lot of ways. And if you were gonna ask me 10 years ago in 2017, hey, do you think 3D Mario is going to be taking 10 years? Did you know that? I'll be like, no, it's going to be taking maybe 7 years, maybe that. But here we are 10 years later, and we're finally going to be seeing it in 2027. So honestly, when you really look at it, what is this game going to be mostly about? So we've talked before about potentially seeing Super Mario Galaxy 3 and seeing Super Mario Journey Together, something like that. It would be really interesting to me if they do Super Mario Galaxy 3, because when you think about it, when you really think about it for 1 second, the Super Mario Galaxy 3 never made the most sense to me, because at one point you would realize, well, the Super Mario Galaxy movie makes sense. Well, yeah, exactly, it does make sense, but if it was Super Mario Galaxy 3, wouldn't they at least reveal a sneak peek saying, hey, look, it's Super Mario Galaxy 3, and then that's going to be releasing later on? Seeing that it's not connected to like the 40th anniversary, because the 40th anniversary is Mario, if you've noticed, it was pretty much like a Galaxy themed 40th anniversary. And wouldn't that make sense of a 3D Mario? Overall, I think that this is all great. So potentially seeing 3D Super Mario Galaxy 3, or potentially seeing Super Mario 3D Ultra Space or something like that would be really interesting. We also have Super Mario Journey. That could be a really cool idea. But overall, all of these things aside make for a pretty fantastic game. Now that this game has been in development for roughly, let's just say 8 years, maybe they didn't start it directly after Super Mario Odyssey, so let's say that this game was in development for 8 years. You got to assume that this game is going to be a massive game, and things that take the cake over Super Mario Odyssey. When you look at it that way, if it's going to be bigger than Odyssey, is it going to be a full big open world, or is it going to be level Mario system? Because for the longest time now, Mario has been more about levels. Like, every single game had levels. It was an obvious thing. Even Super Mario Odyssey had levels, because you would go to the different sort of planets, and that would essentially be your sort of levels, like different areas in the Mushroom Kingdom. One of them you could go to New Dong City. The other one you'll be going to the beach, and you'll be doing levels, collecting moons, whatever the case may be. 3D Mario is more about sort of collecting things instead of a platform adventure. Sure, there's definitely a lot of platforming in Super Mario 3D, but the way that Nintendo has been shaping up 3D Mario, it seems a little bit different now than it was, let's just say, 10 years ago, or even more, like 20 years ago or something. So I definitely do think that there is going to be platforming levels inside of the next 3D Mario, but you don't have to look at it like, yeah, it's just going to be a platforming game like we saw with Super Mario 3D Land or Super Mario 3D World. It's more going to be connected to Super Mario Odyssey, in my opinion, potentially even Galaxy. That was sort of platforming, but you know, it's going to be different. It's going to be a massive game. And also, if you look at it, 2021, we got a sort of brand new 3D Mario game. This was Super Mario Bowser's Fury. That game was definitely really cool, really interesting in a lot of ways, because it was more like a test subject than anything. You really look at that and you're like, yeah, maybe Nintendo is going to be releasing 3D Mario. I mean, at first, in 2021, you're like, yeah, this is what's happening. Nintendo is testing this out. This is going to be a concept piece for the next 3D Mario. And honestly, it definitely would be really cool. Like, imagine that. You wake up on a stranded island. You wake up in the Mushroom Kingdom. Bowser's over here trying to kidnap the pink princess. And then all of a sudden he does kidnap her. But then you see this massive open world that opens up. You see it and you start, oh, I can go to the Mushroom Kingdom here. I can go to a Toad house. I can go over here, over here, over here. There's different caves that I can go and explore the whole bunch of things. Or you can rush directly to Bowser. It would kind of be like Breath of the Wild in some ways, but different. Because if you really looked at it, a lot of Nintendo games are going in some ways open world. Like right now, we know of a couple brand new games that are going to be open world from Nintendo. First off, Pokemon Winds and Waves is going to be an open world game and is going to have features like Breath of the Wild. So if you wanted to, you can go directly to, I believe it was a boss. You can go directly to the boss instead of doing any of the other gyms. It also seems like Kirby is going to be an open world experience. The next Kirby game, I mean. So like Forgotten Land 2 or whatever they're going to call it. And we also know of, what's the other one? A potential area inside the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. If you don't remember, Hyrule Fields was kind of boring. It was sort of like an open environment, but not really. Seems like potentially that's going to be happening for Ocarina of Time. But overall, I think that this is some all great things. I can't wait for the next 3D Mario. It's absolutely going to be awesome. Okay, so all of those things aside, now that we've pretty much laid out the plan, the groundworks, pretty much that it's going to be a 3D open world, what exactly is going to be happening? Well, we know that there's going to be a September Direct, and we know inside the September Direct there's going to be something really interesting. Now, if they're going to follow the plan that they laid out for us in 2017 or even 2016, you can potentially see that same plan return. So what that plan essentially was, it was a reveal of the game, not an actual gameplay trailer, but reveal that yes, Super Mario, let's just say Universe 2.0 Journey, whatever the case may be, is going to be coming 2027, so it's just going to open up. Bah! Haha! Woohoo! You hear Mario, he comes out of the screen, and he's like, 2027, that's the end, that's all you get. Then in February or January, whenever we get the next Nintendo Direct after the September one, it's going to have, okay, one more thing, and then it's going to show actual gameplay on 3D Mario. That's exactly what happened in 2017. 2016, we got the release or the announcement that, yes, this is going to be coming out 2017. And then in 2017, we got another trailer, which was, wahoo, Mario is back, Super Mario Odyssey. So it was honestly really, really awesome. So yeah, overall, these are some great things, some big announcements, and I can't wait. Like 3D Mario is so exciting. Like there's so many exciting points that you can make for 3D Mario. Are we going to be seeing, I don't know, a Bowser ship? Can we ride a cloud? Imagine that. If like there was different areas that you can go to. Maybe there's a shop in the game that you get coins and you go over the coin, and then there's a toad that makes different vehicles, and all of a sudden you're like flying on a little cloud, or you're driving a Mario Kart. It could be something similar to the Super Mario Bros movie. Like that movie was honestly perfectly laid out. Like it might have been a very interesting movie, but when you really look at it, that is a perfect video game. It really is. The Super Mario movie is actually a good video game. You look at it, you start off at what, New York City, and then you make your way over Mushroom Kingdom. Peach sort of goes over, you get kidnapped or whatever the case may be, but this one of course would be different than the movie. Peach gets kidnapped and you make your way over to all these different areas. You see Donkey Kong, you go to the Mario Kart, you do a whole bunch of things. That would be awesome. Every single game has to have a pink princess getting kidnapped, I guess. Overall, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think, yes, this release date actually does make sense? I think the release date honestly does make sense. 2027 is going to be a huge year. It really is going to be a huge year for Nintendo, Nintendo fans, people who like gaming, whatever the case may be. Anyways, consider hit that like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. We do a bunch of different Nintendo content on this channel. Stay up to date with everything Nintendo, and hey, maybe you'd like to see the video about 2027. It's gonna be a huge year. Just saying. See you in the next one.